Hi guys, welcome back to E3. I have just seen Rainbow Six Siege for the first time. It's looking amazing. I'm joined by Jerome from Ubisoft. How are you, Jerome?
Good, how are you?
So this is the first time you've got to show Siege to the world. You know, how exciting has it been? You know, what's the reaction been like?
Oh, well, for the team, it's been awesomely exciting. We had been working on that project for a little more than 18 months, keeping it secret from all our closest friends even, and it was really a tightly kept secret. And just the expectation and the wait for the reveal finally on Monday on the press release on the press conference from Ubisoft was really awesome. So we were very excited, and since then we've had an incredible amount of good reviews and good comments from everybody. So we're really excited, really happy.
Because we were originally expecting Rainbow Six Patriots. That game was announced, and now it's kind of been rebooted. You know, what was behind the decision to reboot that?
Well, it's pretty it's hard but simple at the same time. We were working on Patriots, and it wasn't up to par with what we expected to ship, and we wanted the players to be happy of our game and to get a game they deserve, and we weren't getting there with Patriots. So at one point we said, okay, let's just take a step back, think of what we can do, what are the opportunities with all the next gen, and let's just give ourselves a new mandate. And this is how we came up with the idea of the Siege gameplay, fully next gen, and we worked on that, and this is what we're showing today.
Awesome. And in the demo downstairs we saw that putting multiplayer first has been a really big thing for you guys. You know, why is multiplayer so important to you?
Well, the gameplay in multiplayer is very important. When you play against other people, you really want to feel that the game is helping you, it's playing with you, and you're not playing against you don't have to fight against the machine in order to play against the other player. So it really has to be a tight control, very well-balanced gameplays, and we wanted to make sure that we gave our players a very strong multiplayer gameplay. And then we're working on other aspects of the game as well. We're just not showing them today at E3. And these aspects are going to all come together and be in a coherent package, so that the whole game feels the same. It's the same game you're playing, even if you go in the single player aspects or the co-op aspects of the game. It's always going to be the same game, but the basis and the most coherent part has to be the multiplayer, so we really get a strong feeling of the game. So this is why we wanted to make this first and show this first to the world as well.
And also, when we were down there, we saw that you've got the Rainbow guys on one side, you've got the enemies on the other, and the wall between them. That was key. And then the wall has been expanded into this kind of like a stronghold, and that's how the game, you know, that's what the game is all about. You know, one team attacking, one team defending. Can you give us a little bit of insight into what that kind of tight indoor space offers you tactically with a multiplayer shooter?
All right, well, you're right that Rainbow Six is a tactical first-person shooter. Rainbow Six Siege, what we wanted to do is really go back to the roots of what that means. Yeah. And so we went with an asymmetrical gameplay of, as you said, defenders and attackers, and we centered all of that around our very new destruction engine that we call Real Blast. It's an internal technology that we developed here at Ubisoft Montreal. And essentially what we do is we have defenders. Their role is to fortify the area. They're building a stronghold. They would just want to make sure that they're in an area that's safe and that's untakeable by the attackers. They know the attack is going to come. They know they're going to be assaulted soon. So they need to use their tools at their disposition to make sure the place is untakeable. So they have barricades for windows and doors. They could just put wood planks on all over the place. They could put reinforcements on the wall that prevents them from being breached and exploded through. They could put traps and barbed wires and a lot of tools that allows them to protect themselves and make the progress of the attackers very difficult. Now on the other side, the attackers, their role is to find a way in, get the hostage. In this situation, we have a hostage. We could have other game modes later, we will. But for now, what we're showing is the rescue hostage. And so they have to get in the house in the best way they can. So they start by observing. They look with a drone. They walk around the house. They roll around the house with the drone, and they look at the cameras, and they find the weakest point. With that, then they can explore and decide what the best strategy is. So they're gonna find a weak point, exploit that strategy, maybe put a breach charge on that wall or on that ceiling, on that floor, and they want to get in, shoot at the enemies, and or rescue the hostage and bring her out to safety.
Fantastic. And you mentioned it briefly there, the destruction engine. It seems really crucial to how the gunplay, how the battle goes forward. And normally you'd think of destruction as blowing up a wall and debris going everywhere. But I saw a couple of instances where it was used tactically, like to shoot out tiny little holes in walls and give you actual vantage points as well. How sophisticated is this destruction tech, and how have you managed to implement it?
It's completely new. I don't think there's any other game that goes to that level of detail in terms of destruction. A lot of games use destruction, and it's always fun to blow things up. What we're doing in Rainbow Six is a really big step further. It only works on next gen because of that that constraint. But basically, any part of the world can be destroyed in some way, and the procedural destruction engine that we have is going to react properly and with respect to the materials that are being destroyed. So, for instance, if you shoot with a shotgun through a wall, well, what's in the wall is important. So, if you're shooting through a concrete wall, there's not much that's going to happen. You're going to have some splinters and some dust, but essentially the wall is still solid. The wall is still solid. If you do the same, to take the same shotgun and shoot through a gyps wall with wooden beams inside, then you'll see the wooden beams explode, and there's going to be a hole in the wall, and you can use that to your advantage. You can look in the other room, or you can kill a guy from there, or you can even make a hole for a friend of yours. So you blow a hole in the wall and you go somewhere else, but your friend is going to stay there, camp with his sniper, for instance, or a gun, and just use that to his advantage. So there's a lot of situations that can arise from that destruction engine, and we're centering the whole gameplay around that concept, that destruction is at the center of all that gameplay.
Okay, so when I was seeing the gameplay as well, there was a lot of communication going on. Often in multiplayer shooters, you've got the ability to talk to your teammates, obviously, but when I play quite often, there's not a lot of communication going on. I just do my own thing, I shoot here and I shoot there, but it seemed to be completely crucial. Like, if you don't talk to your teammates, if you don't try and coordinate, you're going to lose, basically. You really want to encourage people to be communicating with each other when they're playing Siege?
Oh yeah, we definitely want to do that. Essentially, there's three main pillars in Rainbow Six. There's team play, tension, and tactics. So we've talked about the tactics earlier, and team play is a major aspect of the game because we want to recreate the environment of the counter-terrorist units, and they work together, they coordinate and they strategize together in order to reach their objectives. If everybody goes everywhere, it's obviously never going to work, and so we want to encourage our players to do the same and to work together by having smaller teams and by having steps in the gameplay that allow them to pause and talk together in a way that's easier. It makes them take advantage of that, and they actually use it. So we've played a lot internally, and people are exploiting that. They talk together, they strategize together, and it does work. And one last aspect that's super interesting in Rainbow Six in general, and Siege in particular, is the tension. With introducing the one life system, essentially you have one life. So if you die, you die. And it does bring a lot of tension because you have to be careful of every move you make. And that also encourages the team play, because if you know you can't just storm through a door, you're going to talk to your teammates, say, well, maybe we should stop and go this way, or I'll breach this wall, you go in, or cover me. So all of this makes people work together. Now, when you're dead, you're still part of the team, and that's one thing that I think is more fun for the people who want to play the game and haven't played before or aren't hardcore players, because they can still participate in the whole game by observing and giving cues to their teammates as to where are the enemies and how everybody's playing. So all of this together brings a lot of tension and team play to the whole game.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jeremy. The game's looking absolutely fantastic. That's Rainbow Six Siege. It's looking absolutely amazing. Go and check it out. We've got absolutely loads on the channel this week as well if you want to see more from E3, so make sure you subscribe.